I was working in the tech sector before starting Work 180, and there were lots and lots of incidences that happened over the close to 10 years I was in the tech sector, starting from right at the beginning, where all of my peers were male and I would ask to go and get their coffees, get them stationery and take their notes. So essentially being treated like an assistant for them. Now, fast forward to the months before starting Work 180, I was in an enterprise tech sales role for a IT consulting company. Now, in that role, and I'm going to share with you the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. In that company, I was in the sales role and I had a male peer who was in the exact same role as me. So same role, same state, same targets, same clients, everything. And I was performing at a much higher standard to the male colleague, which in sales is very obvious. It's all metrics driven. And his base salary was $50,000 a year more than my base salary. $50,000 a year. It's just an astronomical difference. And the main difference, obvious there, that I could tell at the time, you know, he was friends with the boss. Like, they would go out for beers together, they would go out for play golf together. So essentially it was that male kind of backing each other piece. But that wasn't really even the worst of it at the time. So there was the comments from colleagues and clients. And one day I went to a client meeting and I was with a male colleague. He was in his late 40s, quite a senior guy. And we went to see the customer. The customer, again, man, late 40s. And when I walked into the room with my colleague, the customer looked me up and down and said, so I guess your company just hires pretty young blondes. So I then looked at my colleague, who looked sheepish, but didn't say anything. I went back to the office and I told my manager, you know, obviously thinking, well, I shouldn't have to go to work and not be respected and not treated okay in the workplace. So I told my manager, and my manager turns around and says, well, we can't do anything and you're going to have to keep working with this customer because otherwise it will ruin the relationship and it will be bad for business. So that was the straw that broke the camel's back. So went home, called Valeria, and Work 180 was born out of that. But in saying all of this, some of the realization and the reflections that I've been having is that whilst the issues I faced were bad, there's no doubt about that, and, you know, upsetting and hard to deal with, it's still not even close to the issues that many, many other women are facing out there in terms of the workplace. I was lucky at that time, I didn't have children, which is another area women are discriminated against. I didn't have any intersectional barriers that overlaid more discrimination on top of what I was already experiencing. And so one of the things I'm really proud of that Work 180 is doing is that we are addressing the work experience for all women, and helping women. It's not even about equal treatment, although that's a massive component. It's even that entry point into the workforce. If you've had kids, you know, being able to come back is really challenging. Or if your name isn't an Anglo name on a CV, the challenging barriers that you face there getting into the workforce. So we set out 7 years ago on a mission, and we had no idea just how pivotal Work 180 would be in terms of changing and improving employers. We wanted to connect women with employers that genuinely wanted them there. But it's become so much more influential than what we ever could have imagined. The rules of the game in terms of employment back then it was always the same. The job gets posted, you send in your CV, the employer assesses the CV, and then, you know, maybe the person gets hired. But now what we've done is completely disrupt that and change the rules of the game to say, hey, employer, number one, if you don't have certain policies and benefits, you're not even going to be able to join our platform. And number two, all of your benefits and policies must be transparent and you don't get to choose which ones you show.